So it's her and her best friend. I'm hoping her best friend does actually show up.
Okay, so good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll start in about 3 minutes here. And I'll be showing you what to do when you go under contract. Hey Linda, how you doing? We'll be starting in just 2 minutes here at 1:05 to allow anyone to get in. Confirming, you mind letting me know if you can hear me?
Is it just,
Oh, great.
are you Kim?
You can hear me? Sounds like it. Bring it up so I can hear you guys too. So today's class, we are going to go over what to do when you go under contract. All right, so today's class, I'll show you how to complete a commission request. So that's something that you'll do every time that you go under contract, whether it's with a buyer or a seller. You need to submit a commission request to the office to let them know when your closing date is, so that Lynn can expect the check to come in and know how to split your check as well. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you today. What you'll do first is we're going to go to command. And of course, guys, feel free to stop me anytime during this and I can catch you up, or if you have questions, I'm here to walk you through it. But the first thing that we'll do is go to command. So that's where I am here at agent.kw.com. Go ahead and log in here. All right, so again, what we're doing today is we're going to take a look at your transactions and specifically what to do when you go under contract. All right, so these are really important steps that you'll need to know every time that you go under contract. Right, so transactions are managed in command on the left-hand side on opportunities. Okay, so that's the icon that's about halfway down the list on the left-hand side of command. Looks like a handshake. Of course, if you're still learning the icons in command, my favorite small tip is if you click on the KW logo on the top left, it will show you what each of the icons mean, so you can get a hang of the navigation. Specifically for today's class, we're going to click on the opportunities option. Okay, so from the opportunities tab, all right, if you have a transaction that's going under contract, great, you can do this with me. You can also click create opportunity on the top right if you want to create a practice one. But if you do have a practice opportunity already in here, right, you can find that opportunity either on your pipeline or under all opportunities. So before we do that though, I just want to give you a little tour around this opportunity section of Command, because I find that agents don't use it to its full capacity, and it really has the potential to organize your business and really help you take off your business with the idea of being able to see visually how many transactions do you have in each stage. So the cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and close. So this is the biggest takeaway of what to understand on when you would create an opportunity, okay? So what you need to know on this is, in general, every person you know should be in your contact section of Command. So where my mouse is here. And I can help you with that if you need, right? You can click a couple buttons and import all of the contacts from your phone, for example, right into the contacts. The important takeaway is whereas contacts on the left-hand side will be your entire sphere, everyone you know, right, to create systems for you. You'll create a new opportunity each time or anytime that you have a meaningful conversation about real estate. Okay, so if you're talking to someone, whether it be in your sphere or at the grocery store, they're behind you and see your name tag, and you guys start to talk about how, okay, they're not looking to buy or sell right now, but maybe in the next year. Okay, you talk to someone else, they tell you, all right, yeah, I'm ready in about 3 to 6 months, right? Everyone has their different timeline, which makes it a little overwhelming for you to remember where they are on that timeline, right? And that's exactly what this opportunity pipeline will do for you, is it will allow you to stay on top of each one of those potential opportunities, right, as they go down the pipeline. So again, I'll show you that more in real time here. But the idea is, again, each time you have a meaningful conversation with someone about real estate, you want to come into the opportunities tab, and you can do this from the Command app on your phone too, to create an opportunity. And I'll do that with you so that if you don't have a test opportunity, you can create that now. So I'll click on create opportunity on the top right. So again, I'm on the opportunities tab of Command on the left-hand side. And really any page you click on in Command, that next action button is going to be the green one on the top right. Okay, so I'll mention any noteworthy moments. If you are newer to opportunities, this would be one. I know it looks like there's a lot of fields that we need to fill out here, but there's really only 3 fields that you need to fill out to create an opportunity. So if you want to jot down what those 3 fields are, that would be the opportunity type. So this is where we're selecting, is this a listing, buyer, landlord, or tenant? I'll select buyer in that case. In this case, you can do either one. I might, if you're doing a practice one, I might suggest buyer just so you can see what it's like to go under contract for a buyer. Makes things a little easier. The second field you have to fill out is the client field. So if you have them, ideally you have them already in your database. So when you start typing in, let's say their name, they'll come up right away. So if they're in your database, right, they'll pop up. If not, if they're not already in your database, you'll see you have the option to add them as a new contact. Okay, so whether they're in your database or not, you can go ahead and add them in at this point. Okay, and if there's a co-buyer on the transaction, like spouse, you can go ahead and put them in right here as well. Okay, so that's the second field that you need to fill out. And then finally, third and final field, and I'll say these again, don't worry, is the commission rate on the bottom right here. You might have to scroll down depending on the size of your computer screen. This is asking for your side of the transaction. It's not set in stone. So just whatever you normally charge. So ideally 3%, let's say. If they have you down to 2.5, of course you can put that in there. But that is changeable once you go under contract, and I'll show you in a moment. So again, those 3 fields that you have to fill out when you create an opportunity, right, is the first one is opportunity type, so we're just telling it if it's a buyer or a listing. Second one is you need to have your client in there, so whether that's just a client, your co-buyer, right, co-seller. The second one is the client, and then the third one you have to put in is the commission rate. And if you'd like me to say that again, I'd be more than happy to, just let me know. And then you can click create on the very bottom. Okay, and that created this opportunity, okay? And when I say opportunity, really, it's just as corny as it sounds. It's you create an opportunity every time you have an opportunity for a transaction. And I'll tell you more of the why in a little bit here. But it's in general going to be your online file where you can add your documents to when you and your commission request. So that's what we're going to do now. So let me know if I lost you at all, but you'll just simply want to click on an opportunity. You can do it on any of your opportunities, especially if you have a test one. First, I want to tell you guys about what do you do when you go under contract. Okay, so today's class is not on DocuSign, so I won't go through actually filling out the forms and sending for electronic signature. However, I do have a video on it, so I'm going to grab that and throw it in the chat real quick. In general, before I do that, let me show you how you access DocuSign in general, right? Is clicking the Documents tab of your opportunity. So on the Documents tab on this white toolbar here, right, we have to pick a checklist type. And what this does, so when you click on Pick Checklist Type on the left-hand side here, that's going to tell Command what kind of transaction this is. This is a, South Carolina sale, North Carolina sale, new construction, etc. Now, if you picked a listing opportunity, these checklists are going to be different. It's fine. Saber and Tasha set this up for you. But in general, right, we always just want to, that workflow is we click on the Documents tab, select the checklist on the left-hand side, so it automatically adds all your required forms to DocuSign for you. So let's say I'll go ahead and select this in North Carolina sale. And when I do that, you'll see that these folders appear. So again, if you miss that step, it is an important one. I just click the Pick Checklist Type right here, where now it says the NC sales file. And you'll see on the left-hand side, these folders now appear, right? And you can scroll down and you can see these are checklists, okay? So this is showing you what sign forms you need in order to receive your paycheck, okay? And I'll go deeper into that in 1 second here. But in general, now that I selected the checklist, and I'm not going to go through DocuSign, right? I mean, I can answer any questions after I show you the commission request, but in general, you would click on Start a Transaction on the right-hand side in order to create that DocuSign room and automatically pull in all the forms that you're required to have, okay? So the steps I just showed you, where we come into Command, create an opportunity, right? Come to the Documents tab here, to click Start a Transaction. That's really, really important that you follow that workflow when you're starting a transaction. So what you don't want to do is go to DocuSign directly to start your transactions. We always want to start them in Command so that it does link to DocuSign, okay? Now, if that hurt your brain, because I'm not going through the whole thing, so if this is a newer concept to you, no worries. Let me show you real quick where the video is on this. So kind of put a pin on what you see on my screen. I'll drop it in the chat as well, so if you just want to stay where you are. But it's good for you guys to know. I'm going to pull up another tab to show you guys on kwbresources.com. You can always grab the steps that we're talking about today. So kwbresources.com, as you know, is our internal hub for any tools for Keller Williams Valentine agents. So it's not for the public, for you as an agent. If you scroll down past the leadership team here, so you'll see this section here, get paid with KW Command, okay? Now, how you use DocuSign with Command to get your forms electronically signed, so what I just started to explain, is right here, this 25-minute DocuSign overview. So after class today, if you need to know how to use DocuSign to send that for electronic signature, this is the video to watch. happy to show you anything live as well. And then the one above it here is the submitting a commission request. So that's what I'm about to show you as far as what you do when you go under contract. Right, so I'm gonna shoot this video over to you guys in the chat. So 1 second. So of course, you can always come grab this on the actual KWB resources site, or you can bookmark this. This is honestly, that's how I learned DocuSign like the back of my hand, is just watching a video so you can pause it, rewind it, and follow along, okay? And of course, if you have any questions or need in-person help, you can always come into the hub, right? We are in the hub for open tech hours from Tuesday to Friday, from 12 to 12:30, and I'll put that in the chat as well. So if you need one-on-one help, we're here for it. Okay, so now this is getting into the meat of today's class, is what we do specifically when you go under contract, okay? Now, first of all, I need you to use your imagination that we have already gotten our forms signed. So whether you got them hand signed or you got them electronically signed with DocuSign, it doesn't matter, you can do either one. Okay, so you might have clients that don't trust electronic signatures and they want to hand sign things, totally fine, right? However you get your forms signed, right? I'm gonna show you now what you do when you go under contract to submit that paperwork and fill out an offers and commission request, okay? And this is very important, so hang with me. This shouldn't take the whole time. I would say we'll knock this out in the next 15-20 minutes here. But these are very important steps. And I would jot this down if I were you. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what you do with your paperwork, your signed paperwork when you go under contract. And then I'll walk you through adding a commission request, which again tells the office to expect a commission check coming in, right? And when you close, the attorney sends your commission check right to Lynn, right to our office. So she'll know to look out for that check and then know how to disperse your paycheck. Is there an outside referral? Are you splitting that internally with someone in the office, etc.? And I'll show you all that. But first, starting with the documents tab. And if you are taking notes, all right, so this is what to do when you go under contract with your signed documents. Yeah, so the next steps are what to do when you go under contract with your signed documents. Okay, so on the left-hand side, you'll see those 3 different folders, right? Consultation, under contract, and close. If you are doing a listing, it'll say something like, listing, listed, under contract, and closed. But then what you're looking at, if you scroll down slightly, you'll see this is a checklist of all the forms that you're required to have in order to receive your paycheck, okay? So they will not release your paycheck until you put in all required paperwork, right? Because it would put our VIX license in jeopardy if they didn't do that. All right, so first thing, if you can, on the left-hand side, if you did a buyer one, I would love you to just click the under contract tab because you'll see a lot more forms, a lot more on the checklist here. So if you click on the under contract tab, which is what we're going to focus on in today's class, again, you can scroll down in the middle here and you'll see all the forms that you're required to have. So some you'll see say required and some are conditional. And what does that mean? So the first thing I always do when I click on this folder on the left-hand side is I sort by all of the required ones. I want those to be up top, okay? So what I'm gonna do is see where it says requirement right here. I'm gonna click on that, which will then sort all the required forms at the top of my checklist now, okay? So it's way less overwhelming in my opinion, because now I know I just need all these ones from here up, right, when I go under contract. Now, what it means by conditional would mean, okay, yeah, if your property was built before 1978, well, at that point, you would be required to have the lead-based paint, but it's conditional depending on the year the house was built. Same concept of a copy of DDF. It's conditional depending on, do you have due diligence in this, contract? So you do need to pay attention to the conditional ones, but the required ones at the top are really the ones that you'll need in every transaction, obviously, to get paid. Okay, so let's talk about the how. How do I get my signed paperwork here? Alright, so when you start a transaction in DocuSign, so I mentioned that you can either get them electronically signed or you can have them hand signed. So let me go through both options there and let me see if I this. Okay, so what your two options are. Once you click start a transaction, so if you're in an opportunity that you've already clicked start a transaction and brought those forms into DocuSign, right? On the right hand side here, you're just gonna see a bunch of drop down menus, okay? And so what that allows you to do is anytime that you get something signed in DocuSign, you can automatically click on the drop down menu in order to pull in that signed form from DocuSign. And I'll show you on a different one so that you can actually see it, but essentially it looks like you're seeing on my screen, but instead it's like a blank drop down menu that you would click on, and that appears once you click start a transaction, allowing you to automatically pull over any signed forms from DocuSign right onto this checklist. Okay, because the office does not go into your DocuSign room to look at your forms. They only look at this command opportunity checklist here, right? Under contract, this right here is where they come in and check to make sure that you have all your paperwork. Okay, let's talk about the second option, and that's if you got your forms hand signed, right? So if you do get your forms hand signed, totally fine, by the way, okay? There's a scanner here in our office, so you can scan, let's say, the entire residential property disclosure into your computer. It'll just send it via email, okay? So if you have your form scanned into your computer, right, it will just be saved to your computer, would be the idea. So then you can either drag and drop the files, okay? And if you did start a transaction for DocuSign, there's probably one more drop down here, but you'll see it says attach files from. Okay, you might need to toggle that depending on if you started your transaction in DocuSign already, so that you can toggle attach file from DocuSign to instead be attaching from my computer. So this is in the case that you got them hand signed, scanned to your computer, right? And they're saved to your computer, or they were emailed to you and you save it to your computer, right? You can just pull those directly from your computer into the checklist. Okay, so this is what you need to know about when, right? So that was the what, right? We add our signed paperwork to the documents tab. Okay, let's talk about when. Okay, so this is talking about when you go under contract. So this will be a noteworthy moment. Every time you go under contract, you should be adding your signed paperwork within 3 days, is what Saber wants and Tasha. So within 3 days, that would be a noteworthy moment there. 3 days after going under contract, you would want to add all of your signed paperwork that you have. Of course, if you're missing a couple things, it's not the end of the world. Carla will put a note on it. But in general, 3 days after you go under contract, you're going to add your signed paperwork to this list here, whether it's from DocuSign or from your computer, and you're going to fill out an offer and commission request. That's anytime you go under contract, whether it's a buyer or a listing. Those two things would be done within 3 days of going under contract, ideally, right? Week is probably fine, but what you don't want to do, okay, this is the big no-no, is you do not want to wait until closing to then add your signed paperwork and the offers and commissions, okay? It'll cause a delay on you receiving your commission check, and it doesn't allow our office to do compliance on your paperwork to keep you out of real estate jail, essentially. And feel free to chime in with any questions. Okay, so last time I'm gonna say it just because it's so important, but again, anytime you go under contract, within 3 days, you'll add your signed paperwork to this under contract folder, and we'll complete an offers and commissions, okay? So I'm gonna show you that next. But once you add your signed paperwork to this list, you'll see right here, it's grayed out for me because I don't have any files here. Let's see if I can add one, just yes. All right, so once I add a form in here, it might load depending on how big the form is. This will then turn green where it says submit to MC. Okay, that's submit to our market center. So meaning our office does not look at your file at all until you click submit to MC. Right, and so what that would do, it would send your file over to Carla Kettler, who does our compliance in the office. You go through all of your paperwork, making sure that, okay, you got things signed where you needed to get it signed. right? You have everything that you need, and if you don't, no worries, you'll get an email, so you'll receive in this bell notification right here, letting you know that you're missing something, and it'll come over via email as well. Alright, so for the offers and commissions, okay, this is the big part, and this is newer steps, so if you've been with KW for a while, I would say these are new steps in the last 6 months or so. Okay, so offers and commissions, and we do within 3 days of going under contract. Okay, in practice, what I would have is I would either have the executed offer printed out and in front of me so I could read it, or if you have that in DocuSign, I would have it in another tab, because you'll see I need to reference the offer for some of the details. So if I lost anyone, just in case you want to catch up, we're in the opportunities tab, and you can click in any of your opportunities, ideally a test one or one that's actually going under contract. And then the offers and commissions on the white toolbar. Okay, so now we'll click on add new offer. So add new offer on the right hand side. Okay, and you're gonna see a bunch of fields pop up. We only have to fill out the fields that have that red asterisk next to it, the red star. Okay, so I'll take you through what you would put in. So first of all, property address, pretty self-explanatory there. If you are following with me, if you just want to do like a 1, 2, 3 practice, we can add it in manually, or you can just watch me. So you'll see it starts to pop up, excuse me, different properties. So in the case that's a real property, obviously you would click on that from that drop down. Okay. For today's class, I'm going to enter a practice listing. So I'm going to enter manually. If you want to do that too, you obviously can with me, or you can just watch on my screen. But I'm going to click enter manually on the bottom so that I can just enter a property real quick to show you guys what this will look like. But in general, right, unless it's new construction, you generally don't have to add it yourself like this, like I'm doing. Sometimes when it's new construction, it won't pull up because that list of addresses that you just saw is pulling from Google Maps. So, you know, in the case that it is new construction and you need to enter it manually, that's what you just saw me do. But in general practice, right, it involves you typing in the property address and then just selecting from this list. Okay. So now that I have the property address, so we're going under contract on, and we went under contract, I'm going to go ahead and fill out the next few fields here. So property type, we'll put in residential. And that will allow you to fill out the next field, right? And that allows you to pick, it's like resale, new home, etc. As you can see. Resale is, of course, the most popular in our office. And then you can leave a total unit. It's talking about you sold one house, great, 1 unit. Okay, and that's for your reports and awards at the end of the year when they count how many units that you've sold. Okay, as I scroll down, again, I only have to fill out the fields that have the red star. So I'm just gonna skip over any of like these check boxes here, coming down to like the seller info, seller name. So this is where I could go ahead and put in like Captain America. Tony Stark is buying a house. Okay, so I just have to again fill out the field that has that red star. So I don't need to put in the seller's agent. Obviously you can, but you don't need to. So where that red star is, I've got filled in the seller name. Now I'm going to come down to the terms and dates. Okay. And this is where you might need the contract up in front of you so you can see, okay, what's the sales price and the amount of cash. The question I usually get here is what if I don't know how much cash they're using, et cetera, et cetera. This part doesn't really matter, the cash amount. So what does matter is the sales price, and that it adds up here. So you'll notice, let's say the sales price is $350,000. Right, you can then like toggle, so it'll add it together for you. So let's say, all right, it does not matter, by the way, but if it's giving you an error like this, right, it's 350,000. Okay, I can just put that they pay, let's say, 10,000 in gas. Or 100. Right, what matters here, guys, is the sales price. So if you just start with the sales price, if it gives you an error and tells you to put in the cash amount, it doesn't matter what you put, so you can just put in like $100,000. What matters again is the sales price right here. If you have questions on that, let me know. All right, last field that you have to fill out here is the close date, again, because that's telling our office that you have a closing on that day to look out for your commission check, because it's going to be going from the attorney to our office. And I am going to show you too, so you can add comments and things like that as well in the case that you have a multiple offer situation. I'll show you that after this, because that is a cool tool. And in general, you can leave that blank and just kind of remember that in your head that the comments are here. And you can click on the very bottom, so you can scroll to the very bottom and click create and accept offer. The very bottom right, you'll see create and accept offer. Oh, whoops, sorry. It does look like the contract date. I didn't see that it was start, but contract date is required. You'll see when I click create and accept offer, if I'm missing anything, it'll tell you, right? So I can scroll up and see, all right, that's red. I need to put in the contract date. Let's say it's yesterday. So now I can go ahead and click create and accept offer again. And you'll see it gives me those check marks on the bottom right. So that's how you'll know it went through, when you see all those check marks pop up. Okay, so this is the fun part. You don't have to do a whole lot, which is great, unless you do need to actually split the transaction or anything. So what we're looking at here is a summary of how your commission check is going to be split. You know, if you're capped or if you're splitting that with company dollar and royalty, right? You'll see an overview on the right-hand side. If you scroll down on the middle of your page here, you'll see that you have the commission overview here and how much the buyer commission is, buyer's agent. But below that, you should see your name automatically pop up if you're doing this in your account, right? It'll automatically have your name here, okay? So if there's nothing that you need to add, so for example, at this point, I could add an outside referral. So, you know, did an agent in Michigan refer you clients in McKill and you owe them a 25% referral? Okay, I'll show you that in a second. Or are you splitting the transaction with another agent in our office? Like, like on the same side of the transaction? Like, did you co-list with another agent in our office, right? Those are kind of the two main questions that you need to ask yourself. If those answers are no, great, then you're done. Like, you just need to come over here and click submit on the right-hand side, which don't, unless this is real, or it'll go to Lynn, right? So don't actually click submit on the right-hand side unless you actually are under contract, right? But that's what would make it go to our compliance department. And so if you do not have, again, an outside referral or splitting it internally with our office, like with another agent, you don't need to really do anything. You just kind of check this over on the right-hand side and submit. If you see anything that looks off, like if you think, for example, like you're capped, but it's not showing that right here, right? In that case, just a heads up, if there's any notes you want to send to the market center, you can do that right here on the bottom. So you could say, I believe I'm capped until this date, right? And that would allow them to look out for it. Our accounting system in-house processes everything in real time. So even if there's discrepancies here, it should process correctly. But that will allow you to, you know, if you need to make a note to Lynn or Carla, you can do that right. Now I'm going to show you real quick what to do when you have an outside referral, or if you're going to split it with another agent in our office. If you have questions or on how this is done, just of course pop up anytime. All right, so if you're doing an outside referral, you probably see it right here, right? So if it's a referral for someone outside of Keller Williams downtown, okay? So like they referred you a buyer, let's say, and they're in a different state. Now you need to pay that agent the agreed upon referral. So is that 25%, 35%, whatever you guys agreed to. So what I would do there is where you see this commission information, and you can just kind of watch here and put a pin in it. If this doesn't apply to you right now, it might in the future. So just knowing that this is something you need to do, I can then help you with that. So add outside referral right there, just in general, right, I would click on that. And this will give me all the fields, everything that Lynn Davis would need to know in order to pay that person. Because what will happen again is the attorney, when you close, will send your commission check to our office, to our accounting department, and Lynn Davis is our head accountant, right? She's amazing. If there is an outside referral, right, she'll see this on your commission request, and she will pay that agent for you, right? So she'll split this off for you in your commission check and send it to that agent. So that's why you're getting prompted for all of this, right? So let's say the referral amount was 25%. And again, if that would be something that you and the other agent agreed upon in your referral agreement. So that's, you would know that. You would put in their name, email, you know, all of this information here. You will need their tax ID number. If they have like an LLC, right, that's when you would need their EIN or their social. Lynn would need that in order to pay them. And you just click add outside. Alright, let me know if you have questions on that. Okay, so again, if it's an outside referral, that would be clicking right here, add outside referral. This one's important, especially if you're on a team, okay, or if you ever co-list a property or work out with a buyer, so on the same side of the transaction. Especially if you're newer to KW, a lot of agents will ask more seasoned agents, hey, would you be willing to help me with this listing, right? So we can co-list it together so you can learn everything from that seasoned agent. And that seasoned agent can get, 25%, 50%, whatever you guys agree upon in order to co-list it together. A lot of new agents do that because that training is invaluable, right? However, too, if you're on a team and you are supposed to split with your team lead 50-50 or whatever it is, we do that by add another agent. Okay, so I just want to reiterate, if it's an agent not in our office that you're paying a referral to, that would be an outside referral, and that would be right here. If it's an agent in our office, meaning on the same side of the transaction as you, like you're co-listing, right, or working with the same buyer, you're on the same side of the transaction, you just click add another agent right here, which would then allow you to search the agent's name up here. And it'll show up all agents in our office specifically at KWB, so you can go ahead and select their name. All right, unless this applies to any of you guys right now, I won't go through all of this, but the last thing you really need to know here is if you are splitting it with another agent, it's the agent commission split. So this is when you put in, 50% of the commission would go to this agent, and then I would change the other agent to receiving 50% as well. If this applies to anyone here on Zoom, please just let me know, and I'm happy to go through that in more detail. Okay, but those are really the main two things you would need to know in the commission request, and then again, you put submit. So it's not too cumbersome, but you would do this every single time that you go under contract. You would submit this commission request, which we just did, and also your contract paperwork, like the fully signed contract, right? The fully signed residential property disclosure. That would all be submitted right in here where it says submit to MC within 3 days of going under contract. So that you don't get safer and tossed down. All right, so if you have any questions, guys, let me know. So I'm going to tell you your resources for if you need timely help with this, and then if you'd like to stick around for a couple seconds more, I'm going to show you how you can do an offer comparison in the case that you go into a multiple offer situation. It's really cool. You can click a couple buttons and it generates like an Excel spreadsheet comparing all the offer details for your client, which I love. The offer is what, 13 plus pages, 15 maybe these days. So it's pretty overwhelming for your seller to understand the differences. It does have a feature that I'm going to show you now that can compare the offer details that matter most right next to each other. If you'd like to see that, I'll show you that within the next 5 minutes here, and then I'll let you go enjoy your day. But first, just to let you know, DocuSign and these contract paperwork, et cetera, tend to be time sensitive when you guys need help. So I just want to let you know, right, you can come into the hub, the KWB hub, JuLeah will be in there Tuesday through Friday from 12 to 12:30. That would be a noteworthy moment. If you need one-on-one help, again, in the hub, Tuesday through Friday from 12 to 12:30. And if you didn't know that you can book one-on-one appointments with us for free, right, the Market Center pays for you guys to be able to have one-on-one appointments. So if you're going under contract and need guidance on this, just come meet with us. How you book one-on-one appointments, you can book once a week with us for free, right? Is on KWB resources, it says I need tech help on the topic. And that's just our Calendly link. And we can sit down and do all of that together. Okay, so please just know that you're not alone in the technology. I agree, it is a lot to learn. It is overwhelming when you're in charge of selling all the houses and doing your accounting and all the other marketing, all the other things. So just know that we're here for you guys to walk you through this. Okay, so the last two things that I do want to show you is, see where it says generate transaction summary on the top right. I do like this to keep in my file, especially once I close. If you click on it or just want to watch on my screen, so this is again in the documents tab in my opportunity, I can click generate transaction summary. And just like that is pretty cool. You can come in here and select what you want on this transaction summary and click generate. And it'll essentially just generate a one-page summary of everything about this transaction, right? Who are the clients? Who were, what was the sales price, listing price, etc. And this is great to save in your file, right? Because you should be saving, right, your files in general for 7 years, right? And that's great. You can save them in DocuSign Command, but you should probably have, that signed paperwork saved to your computer, like in your files, right? 7 years, I believe, is what the commission would like from you guys. So at that point, I usually like to save this transaction summary as well in that folder on my computer so that I can easily have all this data right. Okay. So last thing that I want to show you guys is how to do an offer comparison. And in case you were following along, I'm just switching back tabs to the tab that says opportunities command. Okay. So again, what I'm going to show you now for this tool, and yeah, you probably want to watch on my screen for this one, because unless you already have multiple offers entered in, it's going to be hard for you to practice it, but let me show you. I just need to go into my account. And so the tool that I'm going to show you, very cool. What it does is it will allow you, again, if there is a multiple offer situation, which are making a comeback, especially as mortgage rates drop, right? We're going to see plenty more multiple offer situations. So if you want to impress your seller or help them understand, like a lot of sellers might think, well, the highest listing price is all that matters, highest offer price is all that matters, right? Wrong, right? There's a lot more details in the offer that can actually make it stronger than another offer with the highest, let's say, offer price. Okay, so this helps them understand that in a visual. So I am going back to the opportunities tab, and I have a video on this and all. So I more want you to know that this exists, and then I can help you implement it if you need it. Let me find this opportunity real quick. Just wait 30 seconds here, guys. I promise to like this. Yeah. Okay, so what I just did, right, is I clicked on an opportunity. So this is where we've been essentially in the back end of an opportunity. And the offers and commissions tab, right? That's what we did in order to, right, when we go under contract, to let the office know how we're getting paid. Now, in the case that there's a multiple offer situation, okay, I have 6 of them in here, but let's say you have 3 offers, right? Multiple offers, or 2, right? You can come in here to the offers and commissions tab and you would add each offer, right? So you would click add new offer where my mouse is. I'm not going to do that again. But that's essentially what we did, where it just asked us, what's the address, resale, how much is the sale price, when's the close date, right? Those kind of items. We put that in. And that's where I said, put a pin and you'll see that there's comments on the bottom. Why you can put in comments or how that's helpful is now for what I'm going to show you. Okay, so again, pretend that you have the multiple offers, you came in here and you click add new offer for each one. So you have, like, let's say you see on my screen, I have like 3 different ones. So now what I can do is I can click on select all on the left hand side, right? Or I can just check the check boxes I want. select all, and you'll see when I select the check boxes, it then makes this compare offers button green, available for us to click. So when I click on compare offers here, this is what it looks like. Okay, so again, I have like 6 of them in here, but if you had 3, let me show you that actually. Let me go back and show you. So it's not single one. Okay, so again, I selected the checkbox for the offers I wanted to compare, and I clicked compare offer. So now what I'm looking at is a spreadsheet that I can see, okay, what's the cash amount? And this is where the cash amount would matter, right? It does not matter, as I mentioned, like for our office, how you get paid, but if you are doing an offer comparison, well, yeah, it does matter if they're paying fully in cash, right? So this is where they can see, all right, which offer has how much cash, how much finance, what's the earnest money, contract date, etc. Right? How much you're netting. Love that, or they're netting the seller, and your comments right here. Right, that's where that shows up. Now, how you can give this to your clients, you can do 1 of 2 things. You can click on download on the right hand side and just spell download as a PDF. You can print it out. Okay, looks pretty similar, but you can download it and print it. Or you can click on email offer comparison on the right hand side. You can email it. I think that's cool. I think so. All right, guys, so that is how, again, that would be a great tool to use if you have a multiple offer situation and what you would do when you go under contract. I'm gonna stick around. If you have any questions, please feel free to shout them out on Zoom. Again, remember that your resources, especially around transactions, since they're so time sensitive, right? We have the open check hours, Tuesday through Friday from 12 to 12:30. If you have like a glitch with DocuSign, right? You need an answer right away. Who your right away answers, I do try to answer all of our emails as quickly as possible when it's DocuSign. But support at Scott Leroy Marketing, that is who will answer your question within about 10 minutes during normal business hours. If you email them and you say, hey, DocuSign is giving me this weird error, or I'm running into this problem. Okay, they're kind of like the chat GPT of KW Tech, and they'll give you an answer or a how-to video within about 10 minutes during normal business hours. So I would recommend saving this email address, okay? So they're gonna be like your virtual tech if you run into any issues, or, on the weekends, whatever it is, you can contact them anytime. And then for in-person help, that's where we come in. So we're in the hub again, Tuesday through Friday, 12 to 12:30, or you can book one-on-ones with us. It's free, right? For you guys to do it, I would recommend it. We can help with all of your tech and marketing, and for free. If you just go to kwbresources.com and click I need tech help on the right-hand side, pick a slot that works best for you. All right, friends, I'll stay around for a couple more minutes here if you have questions, but other than that, that's the bulk of it. What you do when you go to contract. Thanks.
Leah, if we have a question on the weekend, what do we do?
Yeah, support at Scott Leroy Marketing will answer on the weekends. I mean,
They do.
Yeah, they do. And too, like if you email me and put DocuSign in the subject line, I do try to look out for that.
Okay.
Just in case, because I know it's time sensitive. So if you email us, just put DocuSign as the subject line, so I know that, it's time sensitive and I can try to hop on that as quickly as possible. But yeah, Scott Leroy Marketing, even on the weekends, would be your best bet. Honestly, you could CC both of us on one email and then, we'll both get it and be able to help.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, great. And then you had said we can go ahead and do practices. The big thing is just to not click submit, right?
Exactly, right.
Okay.
Yeah, you can practice all day though. And then, yeah, we can practice together in the hub next time that you're in, Kim. And like when you actually go under contract, again, like I can actually help you do the entire, when you go under contract, so you feel more comfortable doing it by yourself next.
Okay. And then if, like, I'm thinking ahead to spring, right? So if we get somebody like, to help us, if we get a transaction coordinator, they basically do a lot of this for us, right? Just logging in as us.
All of it. They do everything that I just described pretty much. I mean, like typically they do the commission request for you. They would add all the paperwork for you. So yeah, if you do get a TC And I know the pricing varies, but it's usually what, between like 300 and 450, like $100, so. I mean, it tends to be a good investment if you are, have a sale.
Yeah, I mean, if spring is what we hope it's gonna be, it'd definitely be a time to do that,
No kidding, especially when you start to have multiple transactions going.
Right.
Yes, I totally agree.
Okay, great. This was really helpful. Thank you.
So glad, yeah, and just remember, you don't have to remember everything I just said, just kind of know it's there in general, and then I can help you implement any and all of it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Pleasure, have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
All right, wonderful. Just shoot me an email or, come in if you need us.
Um, um, so I wasn't sure who I'm talking to.
Oh, sorry, this is Leah. Is this Linda Clark Smith? Right?
So
Yeah, you've been here for so long, right? Haven't you been here for over 10 years?
yes, just not done 10 years worth of transactions, but
Wow, that's
I've,
awesome.
I've been, various points I've been sick, and also there's just been a lot going on with our family and deaths, and then
Oh no, I'm
yeah,
so sorry.
yeah, and then also we have investment property, and I've been putting a
Nice.
lot of time in there, but um
Gotcha. Well,
um I have a question to the side that I just haven't gone into um, Google or otherwise. Do we have information, newer information than what I have, because I haven't been into the office for classes and whatnot, on doing an open house?
yeah, well, which part of it? Like marketing for an open house or getting an open
Yes,
house?
yes, and yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can actually send you like a video on how to market your open house, or if you want to set up an appointment, I could go ahead and set you up an appointment with us and I can show you this in person as well, if that's ever helpful. As
Well,
far as getting the open house, like if you're looking for an open house to do, or you more looking for an agent to do an open house for you.
well, um, it's kind of late to do this, but so another agent from another company called and asked if I would participate in a um, neighborhood open house over the
Cool.
weekend for a property that I do have listed. The property is mine,
Love
um,
it.
but I really haven't done much, and so it's kind of late to ask anybody else. It's for this week, Saturday, so it's really kind of late to be asking anybody else to do it. Um,
Let's see.
but
So are you trying to market the open house then would be the main thing? Or like have a flyer for door?
yes, yes, and I just there've been more going on, and I just haven't made it a priority to do an open house. So, and that shows in that the property's been on the market for too long. But
Right.
I am getting it staged because it wasn't staged, and I knew that, and I just didn't look into that cost and all of that. But I am having it staged tomorrow.
Awesome.
Getting new photos, which although I had some decent photos, my husband took some other pictures that were just badly lit and
I see.
whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, in general, there is open house marketing material in command. I'd be happy to send you a video on how to do that. We can't like our company, JuLeah Designs, so we do marketing leverage as well. So if you need us to market your open house or your listing, we can do a complete listing marketing for $75, or just like a la carte if you just need a flyer, or I can send you steps on how to do it. I mean, if you're around, I don't know if you come in to the office or how close you live, Linda, but if you're around tomorrow, I'd be happy to help you in person for free in the office.
Well, that's a possibility.
Okay,
'Cause I
would it be
think-
helpful if I sent you an email kind of on the different options and then you can let me know what would be best for you?
Okay, it's just that there's so much left to be done. Yard work wise, especially, due to the bad weather.
I see.
Um, but,
Do you know what mainly you're looking to have, like, do you need an open, like a door knocking flyer? Or do you know what specifically you're wanting to prioritize? Tech wise, I guess, or marketing wise?
well, I'd seen, on the office email, I really don't know how people are, I don't know, I know I can probably do some check. I don't know how people are setting up emails, email blasts to the office email about open houses or price changes. It seems like some of it's going through, um, Canopy, um,
It's actually through the old platform that you can email out our office to, at least, like, you remember mykw.kw.com, right?
Yeah.
So that's actually where you can email out our office, so just to kind of show you what those steps are. Okay, so this is the old platform, right? So this is mykw.kw.com.
right,
And then on the very bottom right, that's where we have that Market Center intranet. And I'll send you these steps too, if that would be helpful, but in general, again, on the very bottom right of my KW, you'll see this intranet option.
I'm writing things down. Mhm.
Great, okay. And if it does something like this to you, you know, you can just click yes, save changes. Sometimes it just bypasses this automatically, depends how long it's been since you've been in here.
Mhm.
This is generally what happens when you click on that, the My Market Center intranet. So this is kind of, this might look a little familiar.
Mhm. Yep.
Great. So what you do in order to send an email to everyone in our office, you would click on add post right here.
Mhm.
And then I believe you'll only have really like associate post as an option here. So this is right if you have an open house. So you'll really always click associate post.
Okay.
And then you'll see these options. So then in this case, we'll want to put that we have an open house. But if you had like listing or anything, right, you could do that one. I'll select one that says open house here. And so this is where we're just kind of filling in what that email would look like. So let's say I would write in like, you know, for your example, open house event this weekend, wherever it is. Date of the event. If you have a photo that you want to include of it, or a PDF, like Facebook or whatever it is, you could add the file here.
So the PDF could be formatted so it looks more like a poster or no.
Yes, exactly. It could either be a photo or a PDF, either one. So if you just want to even put one photo of the house, you could. And then we put in our post blurb, so this is where we would write in, you know, the information like join us this weekend kind of deal. From 2 to 4 p.m. at. And if you need more space, because it'll give you 155 characters, if you need more space, there is an option to add full message here. But really, that's all you have to do to fill this out, and we click on publish post on the bottom.
Got it.
There is one more step after this to actually email it. Cause what we've done, once I click on publish posts, you've probably seen like what are they, like daily summaries of what's going on in our office, so it does automatically send to our office. You know, in the summary of things going on, but if you want them to receive like a one-off email about this open house. The final step here would be to click announce post on the top right.
So. All right, that's for a one-off?
Yeah, like if you want them to receive like an email just about your open a house event, right? Again, like anytime you add it to the intranet, like we just did, it'll automatically send to them like in that summary, it's called like the daily digest, that's what it is, from the intranet. You know, so it would be included in that, but you know, you've seen that email, probably it's a little overwhelming.
Yes.
So if you want to just send, you know, an email from you to our home market center with this subject line.
Mhm.
That's when we would click on announce post.
Okay. So how are people from all the other places, whether, you know, other
Right.
agencies, you know,
My understanding is they would have to have your email address, like there's not a way to email from the MLS. I've asked tons of agents this, like, can you just email your entire, you know, canopy of agents, and I've not heard of a way to do that. So my understanding of agents are emailing you from another brokerage, they would have gotten your email like through a transaction or somehow put it in your data, in their database to email.
I think it is in the MLS in under each agent's,
Yeah, you just can't bulk do it, like you can't,
probably not.
yeah, which is the bummer part.
So, let's see, cancel and go back.
Oh yeah, just one more thing for you to know here, though, see where it says add recipients on the left-hand side?
Yes.
So that's just the final step you'll click to click the group so that you can select the entire Keller Williams distribution list. You'll only probably have the distribution list, so it won't look so overwhelming.
Mhm.
But yeah, and now that it's over here, right, that's selected recipients, we'll click update. And so now I could click send message now, and it would actually email to all 550 of our agents. And I might also recommend putting it on the KWB Facebook group, because that's the other big spot that people look for things and get news from the office.
This is the part that I really fail at in this job. I don't have Facebook because I haven't been doing that much, mostly just stuff for us in the last, well, probably since 2015. Um, uh, or even before then. So can someone add stuff to a Facebook group without being on Facebook?
No, you need to have a Facebook page, and it's a private group too. So yeah, no, you would need a Facebook page in order to do that.
Well, that seems fair. And I just
And I'd be happy, you know, again, if you come in the office, I'd be more than happy to like walk you through getting your Facebook page together and how that all works.
yeah, well, yeah, and then once I do that, I need to use it and
Touche.
learn about all of that. So back when, let's see, where was that? So back, okay, so we went to kw.com, we went to the internet on the bottom right, click add post, and down out of the 4 options, as my recollection is, there was associate post and then open house. We could go back to those 4 options.
Sure, I do have another appointment in 3 minutes, so let's do this out here. Yeah, cause you would go to mykw.kw.com, that's the first place to go, make sure you wrote one right.
Mhm.
Want to see these options or these options?
Right, so just real quick, when would I use agent announcement? I can add, I
Whatever.
can make
Whatever
a,
feels appropriate, it doesn't really matter, just groups it based on listings or give them announce. So really just agent announcement when it's not about property maybe.
okay. Have a listing, have an item or a listing, are there special, spaces, darn it.
No, not that I've seen, it doesn't really matter what you select here. So, yeah, really either if you're emailing out about a listing that you have or an open house, that's generally the top times that agents will email out to the entire office. That's
Okay. Wonderful. Well,
great, okay, yeah, and I'm gonna put my email in the chat, so if you have any questions, feel free to shoot those over, and I'm happy to help. Again, we'll be in the office in the hub, especially tomorrow from 12 to 12:30. If you're around and need any help with this, feel free to stop by and we're happy to help.
thank you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It was great talking to you, Linda, and I will talk to you soon. Good luck with the open house.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
All right.